Animals have some unique abilities that are foreign to us humans, but many videos have been popping up that feature teleporting animals, with people losing their minds over the implications. We don't believe in teleporting animals per se, but have included a few of our favorites for you to enjoy today. Some are ridiculous, and others seem somewhat legitimate, but all 5 of these animal teleportations caught on camera and spotted in real life are sure to catch your attention and put a smile on your face. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Mystery Dog. This video's making the rounds all over the internet and has amazed viewers worldwide. Many people are hailing this footage as proof of a real-life teleportation, with others calling foul, as always. We think it's got some merit, but are also, as always, hesitant to make any final ruling just yet. It shows a video taken at a drag race as 2 cars fly down the track and rocket past the cameraman. The pooch shows up after the 2 racing cars pass by in a complete blur, seeming to materialize behind the 2 vehicles directly in the middle of the track. The dog then sprints to safety on the near side and is greeted by a group of people who are happy that it didn't get crushed. After reviewing the tape, which does look legitimate, it seems like the dog was always there, but was just obscured by dust and smoke kicked up by the passing cars. We assumed that it was at the far side of the track and got scared when it heard all the commotion, opting to sprint toward what it assumed was safety, which is probably back towards its spectating owner. The dog really was lucky to get out unscathed, as it seems to dart across the road mere milliseconds after the car sped by. If it had begun its journey just a second earlier, things would have taken a seriously gruesome turn for the worst. Still, we're not gonna knock those who believe that this is a real-life teleportation, other than to say that those people would have been a lot less excited and probably would have been terrified if they had actually witnessed an animal teleporting into the middle of a drag race. We know that we wouldn't want to get anywhere close to something like that, no matter how cool it would be. That, coupled with the fact that this story only broke after the footage was uploaded and not immediately after the incident, just goes to show what people can glean from grainy camera footage that's also out of focus. The speeding cars probably helped to warp the picture a bit too, with the cameras struggling to keep up, with its given frame rate not being sufficiently able to capture objects moving that fast. This and the dust kicked up in their wake all added up to a regular event looking miraculous, with someone running with the idea and others hopping on the bandwagon without considering the physics behind pulling off such a feat in reality. Number 4. Pine Marten seemingly transported through time. After traveling 35 years through time, a creature thought to be gone forever has made a spectacular reappearance, surprising all sorts of people, with the majority of the world giving up hope for ever finding a live specimen in Yorkshire, where the pine marten used to be prolific but was hunted to the brink of extinction. One group undertook a costly project dedicated to finding evidence that the pine marten lived on. It's worth mentioning that these critters did manage to survive in small numbers in relatively remote locations of the UK, but are supposedly beginning to make a resurgence and repopulate the rest of the island once again. The result of a 4-year study, the footage was captured by remote cameras placed by the Yorkshire Pine Marten Project, which sums up their purpose quite nicely, who have been trying to locate the elusive creature for quite some time now. We would have given up after 4 years of fruitless searching, but their efforts were finally rewarded, giving us the first glimpse of a pine marten in the area since back in 1982. A skull was found in 1993, but this is the first live specimen to be seen since the last sighting in '82, making the discovery quite a big one. Despite their success, we do have to wonder about the mental state of the people running the show at the Yorkshire Pine Marten Project. The group is non-profit and has dedicated their lives to proving the continued existence of a fairly insignificant animal as far as the overall ecosystem is concerned. Call us crazy, but we'd be much happier seeing researchers and scientists dedicating themselves to more lofty pursuits than simply proving they were right in assuming that pine martens were still living in Yorkshire. It all seems a little silly, but fans of the pine marten disagree with us, with people all over the UK, and especially Yorkshire, overjoyed about the discovery. They do live in Yorkshire, however, so we have to give them credit for the fact that there's probably not much to do in any given day for the most part, meaning any distraction from the dreary English weather is a welcome. It's also a good thing that they set up remote cameras, because the thought of a cameraman crouching in the woods in a pine marten blind for the better part of 4 years sounds more like torture than a field assignment to us. Number 3. Disappearing Cat Act. This footage was taken by a residential CCTV camera and was uploaded by someone who claims not to have doctored the footage at all. While we want to immediately call foul, we'll bite and assume that this footage is real for a moment here. The guy who uploaded the video has stated that the cat isn't his, but he has seen it around on a number of occasions. He had always assumed that it was a stray, although it looks like it's been groomed pretty well to be a stray. We assume that it's probably a neighbor's cat that prowls the neighborhood from time to time when it's let outside. That aside, he says that he was stunned to see the cat show up on his video feed, walk around his door for a few seconds, and then mysteriously vanish into thin air right before his eyes. He ran outside and said he could find no sign of the cat, who he said just phased out of existence. Based on what we understand about the laws of quantum physics, which isn't much to be fair, individual atoms are able to exhibit some spooky behavior, but an entire cat worth of atoms would probably make such experiments much more difficult to pull off, with modern technology and understanding of the world around us not being sufficient to be able to pull a trick like that off. What we are able to do, however, is work miracles with a little editing software, which is probably exactly what we're seeing here. It's not even difficult editing magic, which makes us wonder why so many people seem to be buying into it. Even amateur editors can pull off better effects than what we just saw, and we miss the days when people put real effort into their hoaxes. Call us old-fashioned, but we miss that time and think our teleporting dog was a much better optical illusion than this disappearing cat. That being said, if this cat really did teleport through time or space, we want in and can't wait to sign up. Number 2. Teleporting cat trick. We couldn't help ourselves and had to include this video on today's countdown. It shows a magic trick that involves a cat disappearing as it passes underneath a pair of wooden frames. The video doesn't show how the trick is performed, but starts with the camera hovering over the frames, showing us that everything is as it should be. It then pulls back a little bit and drops lower to get a good view of the entirety of the frames, as well as a few extra feet on either side of them and above them. Underneath the frame is a wooden deck with intricate knots and markings in the wooden planks. The cat then pops up on the left side of the frames, confidently striding up to them and walking underneath without missing a beat. This is where the actual trick kicks in, because the cat disappears once it passed the leftmost edge of the first wooden frame, eventually ending up completely obscured from view. As it disappears completely, its head and front legs emerge from the rightmost corner of the second wooden frame as it continues to strut its stuff and walk off camera. It might be difficult to see how this trick was pulled off, but a little common sense will tell you that it's not that hard. If you look closely around the top and bottom edges of the two frames, you can see that it's a bit off from its background. What our magician did was print out a picture of what the deck looked like from the top and front, pasting those images onto a box and making it look like the entire box was just two wooden frames. It's a pretty impressive trick when viewed from the proper angle, but would be easy to notice if you happen to be in the same room and were able to simply move around. The trick is all about maintaining the right angles, but unfortunately it doesn't involve any actual teleportation or magical cats that are able to make themselves invisible or teleport themselves through space. Number 1. Cat stops time and teleports. You may have seen this video that shows a cat that's able to freeze itself in time and teleport through space, all without affecting the object or space around itself. It's a pretty good video that's all about cats doing cat stuff. We're sure you've seen clips of cats trying to sneak up without being noticed, using all of their wild instincts to catch their owners unawares. This is one of the funniest things a cat can do, and is actually one of the few that doesn't seem to be malicious in any way, with most of their antics involving pushing breakables off countertops or tearing up clothing with their claws. This video starts with someone filming their cat going about its day. It notices them and goes into prowl mode, suddenly intently interested on the camera. It starts by moving slowly until its prey suddenly disappears behind the wall, hiding itself from view. After a few seconds, the camera peeks back out at the cat, now in full stealth mode, who isn't taking any chances of getting caught. Every time the camera dips behind the wall and peeks out again, the cat's moved another few inches to a few feet, freezing stock every time it sees the camera. We couldn't help but be impressed at how well this cat acts like a statue, with barely any movement on its part. If not for a few very slight movements, we could even convince ourselves that the cat isn't really there and is only a series of stills pasted onto a video. We know that's not the case, which makes this video even better. While some cats can be absolute menaces, tearing apart everything that you love and hold dear, cats like this one restore our faith in the species and prove once again that some cats can be awesome without even trying. The ending of this video is even better, with the cat finally making its way right up to the camera and simply staring, not sure of what to do next. A quick jab of the camera towards the cat then sends it flying back to its original position in fear, seemingly to start the process all over again. Now that's what we call a solid waste of an afternoon and one hell of a good time. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.